I really like this idea of humility and heroism. I feel like that's something I'm Mortal Kombat going on inside myself, and it's so needed in the world, and I don't think it's really understood. Okay, I got a story about humility, and this was from a few days ago, maybe 2 days ago, and a couple people here heard the first segment, but there's more to it. So, so we have this old beater truck. It's a '89 Ford 150, and I didn't know that 2 days ago what the year was or whatever. So I have some experience like rebuilding tractors and working on cars when they break. You know, I don't work on them. I'm not the kind of guy who like works on them if they're not broken. You know, I'm not, pretty much they break, then I have to fix them. So I got a good friend, and we were working on this tan truck because it wasn't starting. You know, the key, somebody, we won't use names, jammed the key in it and it wasn't working, and we got that, you know, the key working, but you turn the key and nothing happens. It's just nothing, not even a click, nothing, just dead. So I was in a particularly, usually I'm tenacious. That's the quality that I bring. This day I'm just kind of like, it's hot, we're sitting in the car, and my friends, you know, he knows more about mechanics than me, but he's usually handing me screwdrivers and I'm just like attacking the problem, you know. But I'm sitting there and like, yeah, maybe it's that part, you know, maybe it's not. And I'm kind of like watching it going, what's going on here? So then he kind of jumps into it. It's like, okay, well, we gotta like find the problem on YouTube, because we need some boost from the outside. One thing keeps leading to another. We take out the ignition switch, which I will tell you, man, I'm like limber. I've done some yoga in my day, but it took everything I had to like all of our like millions of years of like evolution and went into this hand. And like at one point I'm asking my buddy to hold the flashlight, and I'm like, I want it. I'm like down where the gas pedal is and stuff under the column, and I'm like, can you hold the flashlight between my eyes, you know? He's like, I don't think I can do that, you know? So I'm like, I got my headlamp on between my eyes. So I'm replacing this part, this ignition switch, and we should have had the battery unplugged, because at one point we pushed this part together that is broken, and now it's not broken. And boom, you know, like sparks are flying. I'm like, yeah, let's unplug the battery. So we put the part in, and I am so sure that this is going to work. You know, I am just like 100% okay. Sit back and enjoy. And it's like absolutely nothing has happened. No sound, not a click. So we go back to YouTube and we're looking at videos, and we start getting into like pulling out. I can't. There was so much process pulling off the steering wheel, and I'll tell you, it was hours of process, because the tool we needed was inside this tool chest. It was locked, and we had the key, but it wasn't unlocking. So we're watching YouTubes to get the drawers open, to get the tool that we need to pull the steering wheel off. And I'm not sure that that's the thing that we need to be doing, but it's just like the tenacity now is going full tilt, you know. Get the steering wheel off, and we see the ignition switch, and it's like, okay, there's a chance that might be it, you know. And it's like, you know, we're getting in over our head here. Let's call Coda. So I might be tenacious. Coda brings a certain type of tenacity, which is in bravado, that it can be useful when you don't know exactly what you're going into. He'll usually fill that space with just give me a bigger hammer, we're gonna figure this out, you know. So he's like, oh, we call him, and he's like, oh, I'm right at the bottom of the driveway. This is great, you know. I'll come right up and check it out. And he comes up and he looks, and we've got this steering wheel pulled off and like all these parts, and he looks at it, and there's a phrase he says that I have never heard come out of his mouth, and I took it as a great sign of growth. He said, I think this is above my pay grade. I have never heard him say anything like that. And it's like, spiritual steps and humility they're beautiful, you know. It wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but it was like, right on, you know. That is great. Okay, so that's one story about humility. I would say that's like in a way, a typical understanding of humility, that somebody says, oh, I can't do that. And they usually would bravado their way through it. But sometimes there's a humility that I'm finding in myself that is like the complete opposite, and it is humility. Some of us have been trying to get the word out, well, and about Justin, about the school, about just like, we know that something phenomenal is happening here because we live around him day in and day out. He's getting his cereal. Nothing's off limits, you're cooking something, you're putting it on a plate, you're building a building, building a building is just this huge gross conglomerate, but you're choosing what screw or what nail, and it's like, you can learn from anything, really anything, if you're curious. If you're curious, that's huge, and you're suspicious of yourself. If you have enough wisdom to be suspicious of yourself and the tracks that we are dedicated to defending and staying on. So, I know from my personal experience, Justin is an absolute master of just fucking seeing everything, and knowing how it fits together, not theoretically, but so some of us have been trying to get the word out about him because we're basically living up on the ridge, and we know we have a far out thing, but how the hell would anybody know that he exists and that the system exists and that there's a support system? Like, hey, if you're looking for more, if you're looking to go beneath the surface and to like see what this hardware is, of a human hardware that we have, if you're looking to tap into that and realize the potential of that, it's available, don't take my word for it, check it out. So we've been some of us were at Briar Patch yesterday, and we've got one of our friends made this beautiful wheel with all these multicolored, like, it's like a, what do you call it? Like a spinning wheel, and it says Wheel of Wisdom at the top. Really nice colors, and it's made out of wood, and so a person comes up, we've never met before, like, hey, would you like to spin the Wheel of Wisdom? And they spin it, and it's a da-da-da-da-da. I mean, we spent time on the click, 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 click. Really feels like something, you don't know where it's gonna land, And it lands on, it could be what's a life question. So it's like, do you want me to ask you a life question, or do you want to ask me a life question? I don't know if I said opposite, but it could go either way. That's one of my favorites because it's just like such a level playing ground, because it's like, I don't know, you could ask me anything and I could ask you anything, and I don't even know your name, but like, here we are, the potential to go like right beneath the surface, and the other ones are book recommendation. Like, I really love some of the books that we hold, or movies and books that we hold in common. There's so much depth and heart, and they're usually, if not always, about the transformation of a person in a world that they create and evolve in, but like within a love relationship, or within a road trip, or within just awesome books and movies. And so that's fun to pass it on. It's like passing on a joint, like, oh, you've never smoked a joint? Check this out, you're gonna love this. Or songs, or there's another one that it lands on, is Wisdom of the Moment. Now that's definitely, it's like what I'm doing right now, right on the street. You gotta give this person your best and give them some wisdom. And I'll bring it back to the humility part. That is an interesting moment for me, because I know I have something to give. I know that I understand things that the people that I'm meeting do not understand, and their chance to hear it is from me or my friend standing next to me. And I don't need them, but I do need to manifest that wisdom, and I do need to manifest that appreciation and gratitude and enthusiasm for what I understand. And it's fucking criminal if I don't. And it's like that wheel spins and it lands on there, and it's like, part of me is like, fuck yeah, and part of me is like, oh shit, here we go. And you don't know how it's gonna go. And the interesting thing well, I'll say this thing about humility is that the story of like, oh, well, I don't really have, I don't know what I'm going to say, you know? It's like, let me think about it for a second. It's like, it's just bullshit. And it is not humility. It's the opposite. It's me being too big. It's me in the way of manifesting love and light and understanding and compassion and enthusiasm and like putting it out there. That is actually humility, which is fucking, it's a mind fuck. But if, like, I could say, I know something absolutely that you do not know and that you're suffering because of it, and that could be from a humble place because it is not my pleasure to say it. I would actually much rather avoid saying it, you know? But if you don't hear it from me, and that is truly my understanding of the situation, that's pretty fucked up, because I had the good fortune to meet someone and someones who passed it to me, who passed that joint of understanding to me, who passed that book to me, who passed that idea to me, who asked me a question. And it's basically the only payment that we say. There's no money involved, and there is no money involved, but the only payment is if you get something that you appreciate and changes your life, you pass it on. That's the payment.